need to call the Scott County School Board meetings.
Work session.
Worksession.
Y'all do the pledge of things tonight, so start with the city principals.
My principals, Ms. Jeffers.
Well, Mr. Taylor, thank you. I really don't have a lot. We started our summer camp today, and it was rocky, to say the least. But the teachers did great. We had around 55 to come. We only had around 95 to enroll, so we're looking forward to that, and we think that we'll work the kinks out. The kinks was no one's fault, other than the state not getting us the information in a timely manner. So we're still getting information in. We still don't know how we're doing attendance and things like that. So, but that was not the teacher's fault, and that wasn't any of our fault. So with what the teachers had today, they did a good job. So that's where I'll be all summer, y'all.
Mr. Cash.
I just want to echo on this, Jennifer said, summer school started, we had about 70, we did have some in quarantine, and then some had called on vacation, so we're expecting that to go up a little bit. Like Jennifer said, attendance we still don't know about yet, how to do that, but we're taking it. We still haven't entered on the computer yet. The teachers and the kids it was great. It was a great day, and excited. Everybody was excited, so that was really great to see. I want to brag on my custodial staff right now. I think we're up to kind of got a head start because we didn't know how summer school was going to go, but once graduation ended, we started doing some things. I think he waxed his 10th room today, so we're already getting a big start on that. So I want to appreciate all the work on that, and that's all I have. Unless you guys have anything.
Ms. Conley, you want to go next?
And I'm going to echo both of those lovely people, those principals there. Again, cannot say thank you enough to all of the parents even and the staff for summer learning that started today. This started at 8 o'clock for some of you parents, whomever that is watching. We had drop-offs at 7:45, buses got there at 7:50. We are feeding breakfast and feeding lunch, of course, but it went really well. And other than the hiccups from the state putting wrong grade levels and wrong kids, it's kind of got to fix it on the fly, so to speak, but it went really well today. We had about 60 students show up out of 90, so they're doing really well. Some of those, like Mr. Cash said, they are on vacation or whatever, so they're like trickling in, which is really good. But that's where we'll, like they said, that's where we'll be for the next 5 weeks, of course, doing that 4 days a week. But everything is moving right along, getting everything ready for next year and all of that. So unless you have anything for me, that's all I have.
Ms. Ricker.
Mount High, we started summer school as well. Ours is a little bit different from K-8, but we did start summer school this morning. That will last through the month of June. Those students are assigned to summer school, and we usually give them the first day or two to show up on their own, and then we'll send out a school reach call reminding those students that we haven't seen in the first couple of days to get into summer school and get those courses completed so that it does not put them behind for graduation. So I believe we were right at about 60 students who need to attend summer school. I think we had about 40 that showed up this morning, a little less than 40 that showed up this morning. And some of those kids, they're only assigned to summer school for the amount of time that they need. So while it lasts for the entire month of June, some of those kids can come in, get it completed in about a week, and then head on home. So again, we'll work over the next week to make sure that we're reaching out to all of those students and parents if we're not seeing them, to try to get those kids in and get those courses completed so that, again, it benefits them next year. They don't lose elective classes, they don't get behind on the requirements, things like that. So we are also in summer school season. As far as that goes, again, just to echo the other principals or maintenance staff, I came in this morning and had to navigate my way in because, again, it gets to be a little bit tricky trying to figure out what parts of the building you're going to clean depending on what's going on in that building. And I'm sure the other principals would tell you our school buildings are just as busy sometimes in the summer as they are during the school year. And trying to get everything decided what you're gonna pull out, what you're gonna wax, what pods you can go into, what can be closed down. So that had a great head start on that today, and I'm really pleased with that. Getting the building turned over and cleaned up is always kind of a nice, refreshing thing for the year. Do have summer basketball is going on right now, so that the gym is in use. Summer weightlifting for football is going on. So again, the field house is in use. Museum is open. Those summer programs are kicking off this week. So the museum is in use. So if you come by, see a lot of vehicles around, those are all the things that are going on. They did start the concrete project today. I'll let Mr. Shannon tell you a little bit more about that. They did start that project in the back there by those dumpsters. As I left coming out here, they've got almost that complete area dug all the way down, and they were finishing that part up. So looks like that project's off to a good start. Probably shouldn't take too long, but that's all that I have, unless you all have any questions. Thank you.
Ms. Stanley on virtual.
Hello, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I'm here. That's a little odd, but I'll be really short on my part to echo what the elementary principals have said. We did start the summer program today, and I know that Greg has been through a lot trying to get us set up, and appreciate everything he's done. Also, my kudos go out to Brandy Harris. She is super technologically savvy, and she helps me a whole lot, and did so this morning in trying to help us get set up for the pre-test for summer school. So really appreciate her on that, as well as our other two summer school teachers, Amanda Ayers and Michelle Norris, for this week. Thanks to the maintenance staff, Mr. Shannon, we did have a water leak, and I think they have fixed that for us. Also, they are working, doing some work on a stand on the football field, and really appreciate their help doing that. The maintenance staff is always great to us, so we really appreciate their help. I don't have anything else for the board meeting unless you all have something for me.
Okay, it's Ms. Donna.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Could I say one more thing? I forgot. Miss Paulette's mother fell today, and I think it was a pretty bad fall. She is now at the UT Trauma Center, and I think her blood pressure is quite high, and they are checking to see if she has a broken arm or shoulder, and has some cuts on her face. And so I would like for everybody to remember her mom in prayer. Thank you.
Okay, and Mr. Stanley, Miss Goodman could not get back on once she got in her car to drive where she was going, so she couldn't get on. She says to tell you we've survived the first day, so that's very good. It did go pretty well. Our parents did a really good job. Everybody that was involved getting us ready has done an awesome job helping us out. We do need a little more help from the state getting this stuff to us so our teachers can get what they need and out to our students. But it is a good time, and the kids are actually enjoying. Everything ran smoothly except for their part. Really appreciate all the work that went into everything on the front end from our technology, and department has been awesome. We also had people working here today from Roto-Rooter and everywhere else, knocking out walls and all kinds of good stuff going on. So maintenance department, thank you. It has been very interesting today. Cafeteria staffs did wonderful. We just appreciate everybody. That's all I really have. We're just working on everything as we get through.
And Ms. Keaton?
Just thinking about what the principal said about us getting our materials in a timely manner for the summer camp. I received an email last weekend that said pre and post test must be completed and ready to go a week before, which was last week. So we had a few days to try to get that ready to go on to Tennessee Share and get it all done. So they have just really this has been a rush job, and I think we're fortunate to be doing as well as we are considering everything. So that was one thing that we had to get done, had to meet with principals on Wednesday, and Greg helped us to try to do a SchoolNet program, which we were not familiar with, to get the pre and post, and I think that's where attendance also is gonna go. Is that right, Greg? Somewhere. Anyway, you know, we're just finding out little bits and pieces as we go and trying to stay ahead of everything. But the raw scores for EOC and TCAP 2 through 8 are on my site now, and I was able to send those out to me. They should be in your schools tomorrow. And just remember, the scale is going to be on live binders, and we can look at those and get some idea. Raw scores are not the best way to tell exactly where we stand, but it helps us some. So those will be ready to go. We've got all kinds of deadlines to finish. For example, June 8th, observation scores, 15%, all that stuff has to be complete. And I have a lot of pre-K for the grant that has to be complete this week. And also the week of June 14th, that will be the Reading 360 or the summer reading training, in which we have 50 of our teachers being trained downstairs on the Tennessee Foundational Skills. 50 of those are doing weeks 1 and 2 for the stipend, and then we've had several teachers that have just done week 1 in order to complete the Tennessee Foundational Skills in order to renew their license. So a lot of new things coming down the pike as far as ELA and reading. That's pretty much what I have right now, unless you have questions for me.
Miss Amanda?
Yes, I don't have anything for the agenda. Just finished up several budgets. The summer camp budget's done. The transportation that we got is finished. The GP budget's ready to discuss as well. We got the state minimum salary schedule last week, so I'm working on that, trying to fix that, so our new salary schedule's ready for July. School resource officer grant is open now, so I'll be working on that soon, and then our CFA got approved for next year, so we're ready to go federally wise on that. And that's all I have, unless y'all have any questions.
Great.
All the problems that they were talking about. Some of them I can fix, some of them I can't. The testing with the state, the way they put the grade levels and stuff in the pre and post test, they put the wrong grades in. And that's something that only the state controls. So I'm not sure how the schools dealt with that today. I don't know if you guys are able to test a different grade or what, but that's the big issue that they're facing. The other issue is going to be attendance tracking. So the state's rolled out a new piece of software, just came out like last week, to do attendance tracking. So we'll have to figure out how to get in there and get that. We uploaded all the data for that on Friday, I believe. So it looked like some of the stuff was there this morning. Let's say get a chance to get in there and see how we feel about it. So those are the big issues. A lot of it is just the fact that overnight we're switching from regular school year to summer school. And we've not really ever done that. The high schools always had their summer program, but the rest of us is kind of just, your school year ended last Thursday, basically, and now it's going with a complete new semester, and we've got different things that have to be set up. But we're getting that done, just a little bit of figuring out and seeing what works and what doesn't. Summer work, we're moving classrooms, we're building computers, we're waiting on the active panels and the laptops for the next wave. First batch of laptops that we ordered in January are supposed to be here in sometime this month, is what Lenovo told me. So that's about 900 more of those. The active panels, I don't have a date on yet. Got a lot of big projects coming. We're just trying to take care of the stuff now that we can. And when that comes in. That's all I got. Unless anybody has anything else for me.
Do you mean that they put the wrong students' names in with the grade?
Wrong grade, no, well, it's the right student name and right grade, but it's this whole, like, rising thing, 3rd grade rising 4, 4th grade rising 5th. They put your this year 5th graders in 4th grade rising 5, instead of 5 rising 6.
And I had to print off K2, rising 3rd. We're able to print that off, and so that's correct. But
And so you have, the online test started, what, 4th grade?
4th grade,
So you had this discrepancy where, what, 3rd rising
We've got a
4,
gap.
there's a gap there where you don't have the paper test for the kids, you don't have the online test.
They're nowhere.
And
And you gotta realize this test is 10 questions, 10 in reading, 10 in math.
So it's not anything big, but you have to be able to find the kids.
Yeah.
So the 4th grade test is not, we don't even put the data where we put the data for 1, 2, 3. Or 5, it's gonna have to go somewhere different because we couldn't access it online. It's
it's amazing. It's all I say.
I mean, this is the same, we've tried online testing for years as far as at the state level, and it always fails. And this is something that they kind of rushed out in a period of like a couple of weeks.
And you have no idea when it will.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's odd that we haven't heard more, but I checked the test portal today, and those grades were still in there, like, showing the kid in 5th grade in 4 rising 5, which doesn't make a lot of sense. In that, using all that terminology, which that stuff confuses me anyway. But the kids can get in and they can test, they're just taking the wrong test.
so the data would be null.
Yeah, it could be skewed, yeah, badly.
I can't believe other districts haven't seen this already, but this was the first day, so.
Yeah, we'll probably get a correction to fix it.
In July.
Last day of school.
Yeah.
On TCAP, we actually, when we had TCAP, we actually got the correction after we were finished. So that's why I'm saying we're probably doing, considering everything. Yeah.
Thank you for the effort.
Miss Debbie?
Okay. We did start our ESY program today over at Hustle Middle School. We had about 10 students that attended, and we'll be providing that program for 10 school days to those students. We also started today providing those compensatory makeup, speech language services to some of those children that have missed a lot of therapy based on the speech language pathologist's recommendation. So we'll be doing that for those 5 weeks while the other students are in the summer program. And we do have a lot of our kids that are attending the summer program that are getting those compensatory services also. Right now, I'm working on the end of the year report that has to be submitted the end of June. And then we were chosen this year to complete a post-secondary report to contact our students that graduated last year to see what they're doing now. So we're also working on that. I do have some things for the agenda. You all should have in front of you a contract with Dara Klein. She provides our behavioral services for some of our children that need those services. The rate is still the same as what it was last year. And back in May, early May, I wrote a grant, a systemic partnership grant. And in that grant, I put in there monies to purchase some reading comprehension materials for our special ed teachers to work with those students to improve comprehension skills. So I should be getting a letter, hopefully by the time next week's board meeting, but that grant was in the amount of $21,000. And then with our SPDIG grant that I wrote last year, we did receive $10,000 for materials for our CDC preschool class. And so we have got a meeting that we have to go to
And it's, all the expenses are being paid by the State Department, so it's nothing that will come out of, the budget or the board or anything like that that has to be paid for. But Lisa Hamilton and, Brandy Wonderland will be going to that conference, and I'll get that form to you all. Mr. Hall will sign that hopefully for us. But that will be, in Franklin, Tennessee, June the 14th through the 16th. And then myself and Laura Lawson will be there that whole week, the 14th through the 18th. And then we'll carry on with our SPDIG grant activities next school year. The grant that I wrote is a 3-year grant, so we'll be going into the second year of that grant. And so those are the only items that I have for the agenda, unless you have any questions. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Shannon?
Yes. Wanted to make sure and extend thanks to Mayor Jeff Tibbles and his office. They assisted the school board in getting funding for an additional 124 touchless water faucets for our school district. The estimated value of this is about $32,147, and it'll help us finish converting our facilities to the touchless water faucets. So we appreciate that very much. Moving to the maintenance, as always, our guys are staying very, very busy. Greg Claiborne and his entire crew out running down maintenance requests and things like that. Also, it's a little bit different time this year than in years past, because normally the buildings are a little bit vacant in some areas anyway, and some of our larger projects can be undertaken and not be too terribly disruptive. But obviously, we do have a pretty good sized project, as Miss Lisa mentioned, over at Huntsville Elementary. And then we've got the concrete project going on at Scott High School. Central maintenance is also up working at Winfield on a press box up there. So we've got those projects and many more scheduled. So that's kind of what's going on right now in the maintenance. We do have 2 items for the agenda. The first thing is a bid request. We're asking for the board to allow us to bid a 5-year service contract to furnish a complete UL listed fire alarm system, test, inspection, monitoring, and maintenance agreement for our school district. And this is to put everything under one umbrella that has to do with our fire alert system, alarm system, and things like that. Right now, we're having to go between 2 or 3 different companies to try to get these things, to make sure we're being monitored, to make sure that our systems are up to grade, up to code. And I think that it would be very, very advantageous to our school district if we just had really one company kind of overseeing everything and being able to really control what's going into that with the service agreement. So that's on the an item that, if you will, I'd like on the agenda, please. Also, asking if the board would allow the 2004 Chevy Impala, that is the Board of Education vehicle, to be sold at auction. I've got a long list of things that are not working in this car. The heater does not work, so we quit driving it in the wintertime and only drove it in the summer, and that was great until the summertime comes, and then the air conditioning quit working. So now we really don't know what time we could drive it because the headlights don't work at night. And then of course we've sprung a leak in the engine compartment, and I don't know what that is, but it's something that's probably not good. So that's, Jimmy Baird asked, he said that it would cost way more to fix the car than what it's worth. So might want to consider selling that car on auction. As far as the textbooks, really everything is, I think, in a really good place. July 1, we've got all of our orders ready to go for our Envision Math. That's K through 12. We'll have all of those materials rolling. Everything else should pretty much be in-house, save kindergarten. Tennessee Book had forgot to add that on our reoccurring order. So we've got that taken care of now, and we should have those items rolling into our facilities very soon as well. Me and Ms. Keaton are working to try to get a Savas, Pearson, and Vision math training set up for our teachers at the beginning of the school year next fall. So we're looking forward to that. And then CTE, one budget's ending and another one's starting very quickly, so I think everything's in a good position unless anyone has any questions for me. Turn it over to Mr. Hall.
Yes, I do have something from Mr. Murley, that I'm gonna pass to you guys. And I know we got this out to the principals today to get more input from you guys. It's something we, going forward, get you guys input, and we'd like to place it in the handbook for, this year. I know I did speak to Mr. Beatty briefly on this, I'll kind of go over it. We have a credit recovery program for the high school. And what that does, is once a kid goes over 6 days per semester, they go in and make up that class time. They have to do it after school. What we looked at for the grades 1 through 8, considering an after school program, was doing, once they go over 12 days, excused, unexcused, and we'll also, have some things done with the principal, have the final say on with that also too. But do it during the day, maybe like 2 recesses would make up just some recovery time, make up work. Or, we'd have to look at a schedule process with it as we move forward with our principal retreat and stuff of that nature. We'll kind of get your guys' input. If you got input now, please be getting to Mr. Murley, ASAP, and also with the board if you see something. Have any questions? If it's something we would like to do. Normally, we feel like it's really cut down on chronic absenteeism. Feel like it would give us a little bit of teeth in order to make sure our kids need to be in school. So I said, we're not asking anyone to stay after school. It would be a 15-minute recess, two 15-minute days to make up one absentee. Again, with you guys working your schedules, how you do that, you can either use a teacher that's not on the duty or teacher assisted during that time, which those kids have either make up work or what they need to do once they've gone over a lot of absentees. So you guys give me the input with that also too. You look at it, principals, make sure you get with Mr. Murley with any input that you've got, or don't have what you get with me. But you guys look at that, it's something we would like to place in the handbook this coming year. Mr. Beatty, have you seen anything on there as far as?
We talked about it, it's just, it is a matter that the board would need to approve.
Yeah.
It needs to be placed in the handbook.
So what I'll do, if you guys want to say, it's okay to go forward, we'd have to place it in this year's handbook. Any questions?
Yes, and the 2 recesses, they're like 30 minutes each.
We recess, what do you have now? 30 minutes each? Yeah.
So an hour's time will make.
An hour's time will make up the day, what we're looking at.
Does this take into account that 15-minute physical activity law that we're supposed to have each day? Or does that supersede all that?
Well, so we'll have to look and see, we'll have to get some legal with it, that's why Mr. Beatty can look at that for us, so.
No, it wouldn't.
It would not?
No.
Okay.
But it doesn't count, like, if they do, say, 2 30-minute, it doesn't, they're still got the action, it doesn't take, it wasn't.
Doesn't take the action away, no, does not. Does not take the action away. Just recovering some time, recovering time to do work.
Yeah.
We don't have it. Again, like I said, you guys give us all the input with it, and then move forward. I give Mr. Murley credit, he's the one that's really worked hard with this, and a lot of thought process with it, so.
So it's just more instructional time.
More instructional time, yes. What he's going to do is making up some instructional time that's lost. We're hoping with that too, we'll cut down on the chronic absence. Now, we're not taking into account, to this, if you're quarantined, those type of things, we're not taking that into account. That will not be held against the child. But it would be just with the absentees. And there are certain things that, the principal will look at if it's hospitalization, those type of things. That's where, principal needs to make that call.
You're just talking about just plain on not wanting to go.
Plain on not wanting to come to school.
Unexcused absences.
Well, it says excused or unexcused. High school is excused or unexcused.
We do both, but again, there is
leeway.
that line in there, the principal's discretion, so obviously, if you've got a kid that's been hospitalized or has a long-term illness that we're aware of and has been verified, then we work with that student. But if it's just simply, I'm not there, and sometimes, let's be honest, we have some students who are not there a lot of times, and they may even bring in a doctor's note for a day. If you miss a whole day of school because you went to the doctor's office for 15 minutes, and that happens, and it's abused quite regularly. Again, if that time, you've got 6 days in that class. So we'll look at those situations again if there's a decision to be made there, but most of the time what it does is it cuts down on that stuff. And, things like orthodontists and things like that you're gonna have to go to. We work with kids on things like that. They're not gonna be overly penalized.
Yeah, and then, so anything on there will also say, principal will have the final say.
Yeah. But it does cut down on a lot of those, especially the sign-outs and the sign-ins and those types of things. It cuts down a lot on that stuff. But giving them some accountability. But you mentioned quarantine on that. There are, in handbook, it made me think of this. We did make some of those, we did just kind of a list of handbook amendments last year related to COVID. And I can already tell you there's a few from high school that we will have to carry over. Just that policy continues to follow the kid as the kid goes through certain grade levels. So we may even have some COVID amendments that still have to go into this year's handbook that will cover things like quarantines and things like that. Because let's be honest, we don't know what that's going to be next year.
Any questions on that? Okay, so that was for Mr. Murley. For the agenda, first thing, of course, is approve the use of school facilities. You should have that inside your packet. Also want to approve the Children's Health and Maintenance Plan Agreement with Alquist. And approve the following out-of-state overnight trips for the TSBA Annual Convention and Leadership Conference. You should also have that in your packet. Would like to renew the bids with Mayfield for ice cream and milk. Accept the Dollar General Literacy Foundation grant. And also, I think Mr. Shannon mentioned a surplus property that we want to get rid of there if we can sell it. Anyway, I want to commend everyone for the work, get the summer camp up and going. And I noticed that we're not probably where we signed up, but I think our numbers will continue to grow as we go. From everyone, principal, teacher assistant, bus drivers, custodian, cooks, everyone's involved with this. And I know it's about to drive Miss Amanda crazy. I can tell you that much. And also our supervisors here at the office that has a hand in that. Thanks to all. We've worked through kinks and through everything we've done, it seems like, and we'll continue to do it. We'll continue to be successful with it. That's the thing I like about this group. They've always seemed like when there's a problem, they settle, they work through it, and they go forward. And we'll continue to do that and make this smooth transition to have a good summer. Also, just recommend basketball camps this summer are underway. Practice is underway with everything through the summer. Maintenance on the buildings, those type of things will continue to go. Real excited to get that place fixed back by Scott High School, back by the dumpsters. That's been a sore spot, an eyesore, whatever kind of spot you can think of for years. Hopefully this will alleviate and fix the problem. Yeah, that's all I have, unless y'all have any questions for me.
Mr. Beatty, do you have anything? Mr. Sildoff?
I do have one thing. When we done the SROs under the vehicles,
Yes.
remember I talked to you and Mr. Beatty about writing something to Ginger, something that we have voted on, giving the sheriff's department full control of those vehicles. Well, our maintenance he's gonna quit working on it because he can't get a PO for them because Ginger says they're the schools. So when Gary had the wreck, we go to replace it, the insurance money, they said was given back to the schools. So we got to have some kind of agreement to give these cars fully the sheriff's office responsibility. I thought we had done that 2 years ago.
I thought we had too. Now, how many vehicles are we talking?
4.
Okay.
We purchased those vehicles, the board voted on it, purchased the vehicles, give them to the sheriff's office. Okay? Sheriff's office does all the maintenance, the oil changes, the tires, anything.
There's supposed to be a transfer of time.
There's supposed to be a transfer of title.
Was there a reason?
It wasn't a resolution. We voted on that. Ginger says she's never received anything.
We'll get on that tomorrow in the morning.
But finance has got to understand that Mike can't get any POs for them. She says you got to contact the schools. It's a mess that we've been with for 2 years on these cars.
Okay.
Other than that, I think there was something else. Can't remember.
Just that.
Get on John for something.
Go ahead. Forward on.
I'm
Terry, do you have any? I'm sure. I don't have anything.
That's Thursday, special call meeting. We'll meet first, and we'll discuss the budget first, and we'll approve the budget. You guys are good?
That's at 3:30.
4:30, yeah. What you guys want me to order? 4:30.
I can't.
Thursday. This Thursday.
I can't.
You can?
I can eat early.